thrilling at the end.
Yeah.
You know, you had to watch all the way through, but a pretty decisive win by the Ravens. How impressive were they, Keyshawn?
They were very impressive. I mean, I was impressed the entire time. Obviously, they started off a little slow, but it's the beginning of the game. But they catch fire. They did what they were supposed to do. They ran the football. Now, Lamar did deliver some punches in the air, but you just think about when they're running the football, when Derrick Henry has 20-plus carries, they're 5-0. So that's a great recipe. 15-plus, they're 8-1. That's not necessarily with him, but in his career. 0-3, 15 or less. So that's telling you right there how you win games if you're the Baltimore Ravens. And they established that. They established that big time. You think about the way things went. It was like a little bit of back and forward, right? Quentin Johnson drops the one pass on the shallow cross that could have, turned the corner and made a change the game to some degree. The next time they touch the ball, the Baltimore Ravens, he'll go to the house. The very next time he touches it. So now you start looking at that, and they just took care of business. I mean, they did exactly what I thought they would do, okay, when they started running the ball and gashing it as I'm watching the game, because I thought the Chargers would win. I was like, oh, the Chargers, he'll finally beat his big brother. But that didn't happen, and things went in a different direction for them, and they tried to make it cute at the end, but it was too late.
Yeah, they capitalized on the Chargers' mistakes. I mean, this is what you want from a Baltimore team. To me, was a demoralizing loss to the Steelers. Like, not because it's the Steelers, because the Steelers are a really good team and well coached, but the Steelers didn't score a touchdown and won. And you lost to a team, and you're an explosive offense with a guy who I consider will probably be on his third MVP this year, and we'll talk about that later. But this was impressive because you go on the road, you play prime time after a demoralizing loss to the Steelers, and you get the job done in the Harbaugh once again. Where what is it? You'll do Jake like
Stop! Stop it!
You'll do John before Jim.
No, I'll pick one of them. Now come on, move on.
You'll do John before Jim, and John was before Jim last night. So I'm thoroughly impressed with that.
I think it was pretty impressive.
Glad we on cable.
It's a good win on the road in primetime after a loss to the Steelers in the division. The Chargers have been playing a lot better lately. That's why people were torn on who was actually going to win this game. They did, make it interesting towards the end, like I said, but this was a decisive, good road win against an AFC team that is well coached with a lot of talent, particularly at the quarterback position. But to your point about rushing the ball, Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 140 yards, 5.8 yards per carry. And then you add them as a total, 37 rushing attempts, 212 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. That is a recipe for success.
Yes, part of that recipe you mentioned at 37, 212, and 22 attempts, 16 completions, $177 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm going to win a lot of games with them combined like that.
Yeah, and it helps a couple drop passes along the way as well.
That's why I would have fed McConkey till the wheels fell off.
Listen, McConkey, if you're out there watching this, you have a huge fan in Keyshawn Johnson.
That's right, 100%.
You have a huge fan. We would love to have you on the show.
Man, I think he can go.
And yes, he loves McConkey every time. McConkey, that's my guy. We were watching the game together last night, so I know that. But this was a really impressive win for the Ravens. Now, should Lamar, because we've been talking about the MVP, and you mentioned the MVP, Lamar Jackson had 3 total touchdowns on the night and leads the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards, but he's only second in MVP odds. It is Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, and Jared Goff in the order of MVP odds right now. Should he be the front runner, Paul?
Man, I don't even know how he's second. And I love Josh Allen and what he's done for the Bills, because I didn't have the Bills in this position. But, the numbers don't. Men and women lie. The numbers don't, Joy. He's way better than he was last year. The number, he has one more loss than a year ago, but he has double the TDs. He has less interceptions. He's getting sacked less. His passer rating. It should be Lamar's MVP to lose. But if Josh continues to win and have impressive games like he did in Buffalo, and not in Buffalo, but versus Kansas City, right, where he rushed for the winning touchdown, then it's going to be hard to argue against him. But as far as numbers, Lamar is way better than he was last year. And we're talking about a guy who won the MVP last year. And what more can you say? But I think it's his to lose.
Look, right now, it's even though the odds say what they say, for me, in my eyes, it's kind of like a little fake three-way tie. Because you say most valuable player. So it's like a little fake three-way tie. Josh Allen is very valuable to the Bills. Obviously, you see what Lamar is to the Ravens, and then now, obviously, Saquon Barkley is to the Philadelphia Eagles. For some reason, we want to just automatically give it to a quarterback. When you have this conversation, we've had this conversation where you, like, say, hey, why come we can't have a defensive player? How come we can't have this, other skill position, other quarterback? But Josh Allen, until he has a disastrous of a game again, he's going to be the front runner. Because since day one of the last 4 years, they've always, and when I say they, I'm talking about the people out there who do these votes and predict these things early on, they want to give it to him so badly. They just want to give it to him.
You can have MVP hangover, like you're getting tired of seeing the same guy
I understand that. I get it. But you just read off the numbers, and you just said what Lamar's been able to do. Josh Allen, to a degree, has been the guy that has gotten Buffalo in the position that they're in by himself for the most part. Amari added a little spice when he first got there. It was like, okay, you didn't need statistics, and then you went and got Amari Cooper, and you threw him a few balls, and he scored a couple touchdowns, and now all of a sudden you back in the forefront of everything. But it's going to be tough. Plus, they beat Kansas City. If he can continue, and they don't lose a game along the way, and he throws a few interceptions because he's prone to do that now, he'll probably wind up squeaking out Lamar. No, I'm serious.
Okay, but like they want to give it to Josh because Josh is very good, right?
Yes.
And Josh has been in the MVP conversation and an MVP finalist, and they have won the division the last.
Well, I don't know about finalists, but he's
top
been in the
five
conversation.
the last 3 years, top five.
Yeah. See, finalist to me is the top two.
Top two? Okay. All right. Well, I think he's finished in the top two.
He may have. He may have.
Either way, he's in the MVP conversation every single year. They've won the division the last 5 years. They're going to win it again this year.
Yes.
They had lots of questions about
Thanks to Miami, thanks to the Jets, and thanks to the Patriots.
Okay, listen, they don't pick the teams in their division. That's not up to them.
Yeah.
But that being said, they still every single year dominate their division.
No question.
And they're doing it again this year. And they were supposed to be worse this year than they are.
Yeah.
So they've exceeded expectations based off of their roster, based off of the defense, based off of the weapons, which obviously was something that they corrected mid-season. But I think this is. I would still have Saquon 1, which I said earlier. I would have Saquon 1, Josh Allen, and then Lamar Jackson. I would also have to mention, when it comes to Lamar Jackson, who is obviously having an MVP level season. The numbers are speaking for themselves. He has looked spectacular. We know that, and the numbers are going to be better than they were last year because last year's numbers across the league were down significantly. But it's not just an individual statistic award. And particularly if we're talking about the quarterbacks, it's a win-loss award as well. How good is your team? And right now, the Bills are significantly better than the Ravens.
See, I'm not going to say that. I ain't going to say significantly. I ain't going to say that.
Okay, but win-loss they are.
Yeah. I'll say significantly.
They're winning. The Ravens aren't even leading their division. They're not even leading their division. And they just lost to the team that is leading the division.
I understand.
And Lamar wasn't great in that game. I'm not making a case against Lamar Jackson. I'm just
like you are.
Sure, and I'm sure that's how it will be taken. Lamar Jackson is having an MVP level season. The Ravens are a really good team. They should be in contention for the Super Bowl. And this top three list of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Saquon Barkley is appropriate. Depending on what you're looking at right now, you're going to have everybody in a different spot.
Yes.
I just think if you just lost to the Steelers, you're not leading their division. You have 4 losses, including 2 really bad losses on your resume this year. You lost to you're not leading your division right now. It's hard for me to just statistically bump you up over Saquon Barkley, who is the star of the team that is leading that division. They're going to win that division. Josh Allen is the star of the team that's going to win that division. So the team success has to match that as well. And listen, things are going to shake out down the stretch, and it's going to be of a slim margin whoever wins the MVP, which I think is exciting. Obviously, it's going to come down to the wire, and that means, squeak it out.
But it's impossible. He's leading. He's number one in every statistical category for the quarterback, which is impossible. Listen, Key always says that like say somebody has 6 interceptions, Key says, how many of them are not your
We're going
fault?
to cut that in half. He got 3.
Okay, so he got 3 interceptions. Let me see how many of these interceptions is his fault.
Let me see. I'll tell you right now. Not his fault.
Not his fault.
That's 1.
That's 1.
Okay, that one doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Not his fault.
Not
That's
his
2.
fault.
That
That's
was a
2.
perfect pass? Okay, that's right.
Wasn't perfect, but he should have caught it. Hit his hands.
So this, okay.
And he
Not his fault. That's 3.
That's 3.
I'll give you that one.
So he got 3
3.
interceptions.
Oh, you cut it in half. Oh, you see how he did that?
I think one of those.
So he really got 27 TDs and no interceptions. So if that's not MVP,
Listen, but see,
I don't know what it is.
That's not, because this is the same thing Dan Campbell essentially said about Jared Goff when he said he did not play bad.
Yeah, he had 5 interceptions and had a perfect game.
But see,
But they
when we
don't
look
miss.
at it
They wouldn't miss.
statistically, we look at the 5 interceptions, but when you go to break down the film, just like I just did right there,
right.
that's what the coaches and that's what they're doing. They look at it and say, you're being charged that. But you wasn't the one who went into the store and used the credit card. Somebody stole your credit card and used it. That's the same thing.
Did you drop the credit card right outside the store and then
If you dropped it, it still ain't
or
your
did
fault.
They take it from your
It still
card?
ain't your fault.
Okay.
Because they shouldn't be using the damn thing. It ain't got their name on it.
So then you would say that the Ravens didn't play well in that game.
In which game? The one with the
The
interceptions?
one we just
the
showed with the
Pittsburgh game?
interceptions, yeah.
I would say, yeah. I would say the Ravens
And then
as a team
the
didn't
Lions
play.
didn't play well as a team. But not
No, they
specific.
won.
Yeah.
They
Right,
won.
well,
The Lions played.
you can play bad and win.
Yeah, but the quarterback was being criticized heavily for those 5 interceptions.
Right.
And when you look at it, like Paul said, with me in my eyes, I'm cutting all them down and cutting them down.
Lamar
moving to
has
the
no
side.
interceptions
So
this
as
year.
of right now, he got no picks.
And 30 touchdowns, 23 in the air,
The
and 3
three,
rushing.
but look, Joy, seriously, those 3 picks that he just showed, maybe the one to the tight end on the outcut, he extended the ball a little too far and was a little bit of a reach.
It was a little bit of a
Let's give him 1.
Okay.
If you want to give him 1, give him 1.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying, I think that in this situation, when we are evaluating the MVP,
I like
wins
Saquon.
and losses are important.
No, I like
when it's
Saquon
coming
at the
down
top.
the stretch. And yeah, and again,
I just know they're not going to
we
give
have
it to him.
We have enough. Well, I don't
He's
know.
gonna have to
I
rush for
think if he
2,800
does,
yards
if he
and do
does
all that
break Eric
crazy-
Dickerson's record, they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, he's
But the
gonna have
thing
to
is, too,
smash
it
it,
has
though.
to be a balance, Joy, because if wins and losses matter, the 2 best records in the league they have nobody in the MVP.
No. I don't
race.
think that wins and losses are the only thing.
Yeah.
But when
So
we're,
you're saying
when
that's
we're,
part of the criteria.
It's
starting to
definitely part of the
separate the
yeah, it's
statistics
definitely
and,
part of the
and
criteria.
who is winning and who is losing, and maybe the statistics outweigh the wins and losses if they get to a certain.
This is
know,
not
point,
a campaign against Josh Allen. Okay? I look, is he deserving or more deserving
What did they
than the
say?
other 2?
Overrated.
I didn't say that.
He
I don't.
said overhyped.
I said overhyped. And that's only based on all the preseason yeast that he's given before the season
That
starts.
East is 9-2.
Yes, but then he falters in the playoffs, and then we come back
It's
in
not a-
2025,
it's not a playoff
and then
award.
they blow it up
It's not a
again.
playoff award. It's a
Can't do
regular
that.
season
It's a
award.
regular season award. 1, thank you, Paul. It's a regular season award. And 2, when we're starting to look at the postseason results of both of those guys, they're
Look,
gonna get.
you have a strong
tricky.
argument for Lamar being 3rd. There's no question about it. He does have 4 losses on his record. He had a couple bad losses. He loses to the number 1 team in his own division. He hasn't been able to beat them, no question about it. Saquon Barkley is not carrying the Philadelphia Eagles.
He's
but-
leading.
Carrying them.
No, he's not.
carrying
I don't
them.
want to discredit the rest of the team because Jalen has certainly played pretty good football, and the rest of the team has. But what I was going to say is, for my eyes, he's got so many defining splash moments
He just
this year
he got aura.
that we hadn't seen. It's
aura.
He's
something
the
about
MVP of that
That
team.
aura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has that.
Yeah, he got that aura.
But
this
down
year.
the stretch, say Lamar beats the Steelers, they end up winning the division. There's a lot of football left to play. We're only talking about today.
So as it stands today, I got all 3 of them tied.
Well, that's very fair of you, Keyshawn.
It can't be tied. Somebody has to have the lead. It changes every week.
It's against the rules.
So you
Why
have,
is that against the rules?
Okay, so
'Cause
she
we
has
make- 'cause
Saquon.
we make the rules and you have to pick.
No, she has Allen.
No, I have Saquon.
No, Saquon, Lamar.
Man, I got all 3, man. Y'all won't let me
I
have
got
all 3?
No,
Then
you
I'm
can't have all
gonna go with Josh Allen.
I
If y'all ain't
too
gonna let me have
think
all
Josh
3.
Allen.
If y'all
I
gonna
do
have-
think everyone should win an award.
No, if y'all ain't gonna let me have 1, all 3, I'm gonna take Josh Allen.
I will say
him.
this has been this is the closest MVP race that I can remember in recent years.
Yeah, it feels like it
And the
matters.
reason I'm going to take Josh Allen is because he started off okay, and then they had a little two-game little hiccup there, and he, saw I don't need receivers, and they realized they did need to get some things going, so they went out and got Amari Cooper, and they've been rolling for the most part ever since. It's not like Amari Cooper's putting up monster numbers with him, but he is...
His presence.
If you lost him for any period of time, they'll be the Miami Dolphins. They'll be in trouble.
No, not the Miami.
No, they'll be in trouble.
No, not the
You
Miami.
lost Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You lost Josh Allen.
Yeah, they'll be the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like what happened with Tua. Tua missed games and the Dolphins season was instantly over.
That is true.
I don't know if that would be the case for Lamar because of Derrick Henry, and we've seen the Baltimore Ravens win games without Lamar at the quarterback position. So it's kind of like, I don't know if that'll be the case.
Regroup.
Man, you sound like a coach. You sound like a coach that just lost.
Like when you consistently losing to your big brother, what's the conversation like? Do they talk today?
No, he blaming stuff on somebody to his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody. Quentin John, man, that damn Quentin John said if he just that's
right.
Of
That's
course.
the coach talking the next
they
day.
talking to each other just like you talk to your brothers and sisters and friends and agents. It's the same thing. He just letting them know, like, man, I can't believe you guys did this. I can't believe that we did that. They just having that conversation.
Did you think we saw the ceiling for the Chargers last night?
It's hard for me to put my finger because the Chargers are well coached. They have a great quarterback. They have some nice pieces. It's just when I look at what they've done this year, and I feel like they were a couple drop passes from the game turning into something different. I don't know if they win or lose, but there's not really a signature win on here. So are they like a Super Bowl contender? No, I don't have them in that group with the Super Bowl contenders, but they're right under that. And they're a team that could probably, win one game in the playoffs, I think. I think that's their ceiling for this ball club because they haven't shown me much as far. But they have a chance to make it up now because they go at the Falcons and at the Chiefs. If they win those two games, then their ceiling rises.
I tend to agree with you. This is a team that was, gutted at the beginning of the year. We weren't sure what Herbert was going to look like, how quickly things were going to come together. And Harbaugh has brought a culture and energy and is building in an identity there. So I wouldn't expect a deep playoff run from this team probably regardless because they're just building up in this new Harbaugh regime. But they are a good team, not a great team. So we saw their ceiling. I think they can play better than they played last night. I think, to your point, a couple of those drops go the other way, particularly that one significant 3rd and 4 where they gave the ball back and then the Ravens automatically score. If they convert there and go down and drive, maybe the game looks different. I don't know. So I think those little things, if they can improve upon them, they are a team that could win a playoff game. But to make a deep run, I don't think so. But that's where I think the Chargers are.
Look, there was one game they lost last night. They're 7-4. They control their own destiny to the playoffs. If they get in the playoffs, they're not going to have a home game because Tennessee is going to win the division. They'll go on the road, and hopefully they can grab an opponent that they are equal or better than, whoever that may be, that in that makeup. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're hitting on all cylinders. Got to get the ball to McConkey more. I know you're going to laugh.
McConkey.
No, I'm serious.
Got to get McConkey in there.
You got to get him the football more, but he's a rookie, and I promise you, from here on out, you watch the amount of targets. Dude was 6 of 6. They threw him 6, he caught 6. Okay? They threw him 6, he caught 6, and he got a pass interference that essentially was a completion. I mean, it was a completion based on the fact that he got the flag.
Right.
So he's 7 for 7. I'm getting him the football. Justin Herbert is going to sit down with the coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball, and they're going to say, we got to figure out how to get McConkey involved because we can't trust what Quentin Johnson is going to do. We can't trust that. And that's just the reality of it. But I think they're a playoff team. I don't know how far they'll go in the playoffs, but I like McConkey.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.